Definitely the most food we've ever gotten on a tray at one time.
Better than the normal meal, so.
What would your final indulgence be if you stared mortality in the face? A lavish spread of your favorite dishes? A childhood nostalgic treat? Or perhaps something more profound and symbolic? This question has provoked some of the most bizarre and chilling last meal requests in the condemned souls on death row. Hello everyone, welcome to Wow Amazing. In this video, we will go through most strange last meal requests on death row. But before we begin, we would like you guys to subscribe to Wow Amazing and hit the notification bell so you do not miss out on amazing and entertaining content that will surely get you amazed. So, let's begin. From the weirdly symbolic to the grotesquely gluttonous, these meal orders take us into the darkest recesses of human nature when confronted with imminent death. Number 17. Victor Harry Fager. We begin our journey with the curious case of Victor Harry Fager, a 28-year-old man sentenced to death by hanging in 1963 for a convicted kidnapping and murder. His final meal request was just an olive with its pit intact. After his execution, the olive pit was found in his suit pocket, leading many to believe that Fager intended for the pit to be buried alongside him. Maybe Fager was delusional. Maybe he was just desperate to hold on to a shred of humanity after the atrocities he committed. Or maybe, just maybe, there was a part of him that still yearned for reconciliation deep down. Whatever his motivations, you can't deny there's something fascinating yet disturbing about the whole thing. It makes you wonder what was going through his mind as that noose tightened around his neck. Number 16. Gerald Lee Mitchell. Now let's move on to something a little sweeter, shall we? Unlike Fager and his symbolic olive pit, Gerald Lee Mitchell didn't seem too hung up on profound gestures when it came to his final meal request. Nah, he just wanted to go out with a taste of childhood nostalgia on his lips. So what kind of supper did Mitchell have in mind for his last meal, you ask? The man straight up asked for an assorted bag of Jolly Rancher candies. That's it, just a big old bag of those fruity candies. I mean, sure, it's a little whimsical, maybe even childish, but there's something beautiful about Mitchell's request too, don't you think? In the face of death, he chose to spend his final moments indulging in an innocent pleasure from his past. One last sugary escape before the bitter end. Number 15. Lawrence Russell Brewer. While some inmates' requests hinted at deeper meaning, others seemed to revel in the opportunity to indulge, which brings our attention to Lawrence Russell Brewer, a convicted killer and white supremacist who ordered an enormous feast in 2011. Brewer's order was nothing less than an all-you-can-eat buffet, consisting of fried chicken steaks with gravy, a triple bacon cheeseburger, a meat feast pizza, to a cheese omelet with ground beef, tomatoes, onions, bell peppers, and jalapenos, 3 fajitas, fried okra, a pound of barbecue, half a loaf of white bread, peanut butter fudge, and a pint of Bluebell ice cream. However, in a final act of defiance to the justice system, he refused to eat a single morsel when the meal arrived, prompting Texas Senator John Whitmire to ban the last meal request in the state altogether. Number 14. John Wayne Gasey. The notorious serial killer John Wayne Gasey, known as the Killer Clown Pogo, capitalized on his last meal request in a chilling way. Having managed 3 KFC restaurants in his home city of Waterloo, Gasey ordered 12 fried shrimp, a bucket of original recipe KFC, French fries, and a pound of strawberries. A seemingly innocent meal, but one that hinted at the facade of normalcy that Gasey had managed throughout his life. Or maybe he just wanted that finger-licking goodness for one last time. Number 13. John Spankle. For some inmates, the prospect of a final meal paled in comparison to the desire for one last taste of their favorite drink. John Spankle, a convicted murderer executed in 1979, denied any special food requests. Instead, he asked for a single flask of Jack Daniels, which he shared with the prison superintendent in a rare moment of camaraderie before facing his fate. This act prompted Florida to revise its last meal provisions, excluding alcohol altogether. We'd love to hear from you. If you were granted a final meal request, what would it be and why? Drop your choice in the comments below. Personally, I wouldn't mind going the John's way of a glass of whiskey, shaken not stirred. Number 12. Aileen Wuornos. Aileen Wuornos, the notorious serial killer convicted of murdering 7 men, approached her final meal with a unique perspective. Her request was simple: a single cup of black coffee. However, her motivations were far from ordinary. Warnos believed she wouldn't be gone for long, uttering the ominous words, "I'd just like to say I'm sailing with the Rock. I'll be back like Independence Day with Jesus June 6th. A chilling statement that hinted at her belief in an afterlife. Number 11. Ray Rector. Ray Rector's final meal request seemed to betray a profound disconnect from the reality of his coming execution. Having ordered a hearty meal of steak, fried chicken, cherry Kool-Aid, and pecan pie, Rector left his dessert untouched. When questioned about this decision, he simply stated that he was saving it for later. Whether intended as a joke or a sincere belief in an afterlife, Rector's words left a haunting impression. Number 10. Timothy McVey. In the list of the most bizarre and extravagant requests, we find solace in the simplicity of Timothy McVey's final meal. Responsible for the Oklahoma City bombing that claimed 168 innocent lives, McVey sought comfort in 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream. I get it. We all have our childhood favorites that bring us comfort. But for someone responsible for such a horrific act of domestic terrorism, getting to indulge in 2 whole pints of ice cream the night before his execution just seems too generous, you know? So there he was, the night before his lethal injection, just chilling and watching TV while scarfing down those 2 pints of mint chocolate chip. I can't even imagine eating that much ice cream in one sitting, but I guess when you're about to be executed, you might as well go all out on your beloved childhood treat, right? Even over 2 decades later, people are still scratching their heads over McVey's strange little ice cream feast. It's just one of those bizarre final meal requests that sticks in your mind, you know? Like, of all the things to ask for as your last meal on death row, 2 pints of mint chip is definitely up there as one of the weirdest. Number 9. David Leon Woods. For David Leon Woods, who spent a staggering 22 years on death row before his execution in 2007, his final meal request offered a glimmer of normalcy. He chose a standard pizza and an entire birthday cake, both of which he shared with his visiting family. While his actual birthday was still 3 months away, this act added a layer of celebration and togetherness to his final hours, a reminder of the human connections that endure even in the darkest of circumstances. Number 8. Thomas J. Grasso. In a moment that highlighted the bizarre trivialities that can arise in the most grave of situations, we turn to Thomas J. Grasso's final meal request in 1995. Grasso ordered a plethora of extravagant foods, including 24 steamed clams, barbecued ribs, and a Burger King double cheeseburger. However, his request for a can of SpaghettiOs to be served at room temperature was met with a mix-up, and he was instead served spaghetti and meatballs. Grasso's final words were a protest against this mistake, declaring, "I did not get my SpaghettiOs. I got spaghetti. I want the press to know this." If you're finding these last meal tales as captivating as we are, make sure to subscribe and click the bell so you never miss a new video from Wow Amazing. Number 7. Philip Workman. In a remarkable display of selflessness, Philip Workman used his final meal request as an opportunity to give back. He requested a large vegetarian pizza to be given to a random homeless person. While the prison officials refused to honor this request, Workman's act of generosity sparked a wave of charitable actions as homeless shelters across Tennessee received large amounts of vegetarian pizzas from people all over the country. Number 6. Angel Nez Diaz. Angel Nez Diaz took a different approach to his final meal, using it as a platform to voice his powerful critique of capital punishment. Declining to order a special meal, Diaz was served the regular Wednesday prison menu of shredded turkey with taco seasoning, cheese, rice, pinto beans, tortilla shells, apple crisp, and ice cream. However, he refused to eat any of it, declaring in his final words that the death penalty was a form of vengeance and a cowardly act by humans. Number 5. James Edward Smith. Perhaps one of the most bizarre final meal requests came from James Edward Smith in 1990. Smith requested a lump of soil, specifically the Ricunda type associated with witchcraft and voodoo rituals. While some speculated that he intended to consume the dirt, others believed he planned to perform a ritual before his execution. Regardless of his motivations, Smith's request was denied, and he was served a cup of yogurt instead, a rather anticlimactic substitute for his intended ritual. Number 4. Robert Alton Harris. When it came to his final meal, Robert Alton Harris seemed determined to leave no craving unsatisfied. In 1992, he requested a veritable feast fit for a king. A 21-piece bucket of KFC, 2 large Domino's pizzas, French fries, a 6-pack of Pepsi, ice cream, and a bag of jelly beans. As if that weren't enough, he also asked for a packet of Camel cigarettes, perhaps seeking one last indulgence in his vices before bidding farewell to this world. Harris's famous final words: "You can be a king or a street sweeper, but everybody dances with the Grim Reaper." Number 3. Odell Barnes. In stark contrast to Harris's indulgent request, Odell Barnes used his final meal as a platform to voice his convictions. Refusing to order a customized meal, Barnes instead declared, "I am declining a last meal request because to partake of a special treat at this solemn hour would be unconscionable. My requests are justice, equality, world peace." Number 2. Ronnie Lee Gardner. For Ronnie Lee Gardner, his final meal was not just about the food, but about the experience that accompanied it. In 2010, he requested a hearty meal of lobster tail, steak, apple pie, and vanilla ice cream. However, Gardner's request didn't stop there. He also asked to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy while enjoying his meal, a request that was surprisingly granted. With a combined runtime of over 11 hours, this must have been one of the longest final meals in recorded history, allowing Gardner to escape into the Middle-earth before facing his fate. Number 1. Stephen Michael Woods Jr. Stephen Michael Woods Jr.'s final meal request was a defiant act of gluttony, a last hurrah against a system he seemed to have lost faith in. In 2011, he ordered a staggering 2 pounds of bacon, a large pizza with bacon, sausage, pepperoni, and hamburger, fried chicken breasts, chicken fried steak, hamburgers with bacon on French toast, garlic breadsticks, Mountain Dew, Pepsi, root beer, sweet tea, and ice cream. As he savored each bite, Woods Jr. voiced his criticism of the justice system, with his famous last words being, "You're not about to witness an execution. You're about to witness a murder. I've never killed anybody. Never. This whole thing is wrong. Warden, if you're going to murder someone, go ahead and do it. Pull that trigger. Goodbye." What would your final indulgence be if granted that solemn privilege? A multi-course feast fit for royalty? A nostalgic throwback to the flavors of your childhood? Or perhaps something more profound and symbolic? Let us know in the comments below. Also, subscribe to Wow Amazing and press the bell icon so you are one of the first ones to get wowed every time we upload a new video. Until next time, may your plate always be full, whether literally or metaphorically. The choice is yours.